Hey there friends, it's Carly. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new here, and welcome to today's video. We are talking all things third trimester, so symptoms, feelings, all the things that are happening moving forward. So if that is something you're keen to see, grab yourself a cuppa and let's get into the video. We're actually filming in baby's room today. It's not 100% done, but I am going to give you guys a little bit of an update and a tour. I'm sitting in my lovely little breastfeeding chair. It's a nice rocker glider. I do come in here on occasion and just sit with baby, and I'll even like pick out a book and read to them and just relax in this chair. So I think this chair is going to be a bit of a staple in not only like my breastfeeding, feeding routine, but I tell you what, once I'm done with it in this room, I think I'm going to clear a space for it in mine and Dave's room, just so that I can continue to utilize it and continue to maintain its current level of like comfortability slash aesthetic. So I'm just going to pause the third trimester update and just give you a little bit of a current nursery room update.
All right, so I realized I said nursery room update and then I cut to footage of me out in the bush, but I did want to include it here as a bit of a behind the scenes of the maternity photos Dave and I took together. Now, if you've seen this location before, it means that you watched my wedding video. I thought that it would be a really sort of special moment to recreate some of our wedding photos. So we did get married earlier this year in March in Greenfields Beach, Vincentia. And I loved this place as an element of greenery and beauty to take some of our wedding photos, and I got some great photos here. So I decided to recreate those for our maternity pictures. I did my hair the same, I did my makeup the same, and then I borrowed this lovely lace dressing gown from a friend, which kind of replicates what my wedding dress looks like. And I think the pictures turned out truly beautiful. I was very happy with them. Dave just took some photos individually of me on my vlogging camera, and then we set up the tripod and put my phone on self-timer and got some photos that way as well. And it just ended up being a beautiful moment and was certainly an inexpensive way to take some lovely maternity pics as well. Now we have transitioned into the baby's room, however, and I'm going to start by setting up the change table. As you can see, we've already got the glider in the room and positioned, and Dave's having a lovely relaxing moment in that while I unpack the pieces for the change table. I bought both the glider and change table online from an Australian company called, I believe it's pronounced Il Tutto, and I'm pretty happy with what I got and the quality, especially of the glider. It is very beautiful and comes in this lovely soft material. I did, however, wait until it was on sale because I found that it was quite expensive at its full price, and this was one of the cheaper options available on the site. The change table is good too. It does have 3 sort of very deep drawers and then space to insert the changing mat on top. However, I did feel that particularly the wood grain look of it made it look a little bit cheaper, and maybe I should have gone with more sort of white and neutral colors as opposed to the wood, just to have a more elevated look. I don't know if that would have made a difference, but in any case, I'm still very happy with the final product. And once I had that set up, I started organizing all of my baby bits. So in the top drawer, I've kind of got this as a changing drawer with a heap of nappies, wipes, and other kind of medical bits and pieces. And then in the two bottom drawers, I did want to have space for clothes and blankets / wraps. But before I started unpacking and organizing all of those, I did need to wash them. So here you can see me just going through and making sure I've removed all of the tags from the clothing. A lot of these bits and pieces I picked up quite some time ago and had just been storing them. So I had already removed the tags, but a few were new as gifts from friends and co-workers. So I did need to do that first before putting on a gentle load of washing and hanging those out so that they could dry and be clean, ready for baby. I went to Kmart and I picked up this change table insert for a really affordable price. I had seen them elsewhere online and different variations of change tables, and they were just so much more expensive. While I was there, I also picked up this lovely playmat. I love that it is both gender neutral and reversible, and that it's a plastic mat so it can be easily wiped down if there are any spills, as opposed to a fabric mat, which I feel like would wear a lot worse.
All right, so things still to happen in here, but looking good so far. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. In terms of third trimester, my thoughts, my feelings, what's been happening. It's actually been my favorite part of pregnancy. I feel like in the first trimester, there was a lot of uncertainty, and for me, like a bit of fear, to be completely honest. There was also like a lot of raging symptoms. And then even in second trimester, I feel like there was a lot of stretching going on in my body that was actually kind of painful / uncomfortable. And I feel like we've gotten to a point where we've done a fair amount of stretching, and hopefully we're at the end of our stretching journey. We will see. There was definitely a big jump. I think it was about week 28 or 29, I saw a big growth spurt, and there was definitely like a remarkable difference in the size of my belly. But since then, we've kind of like, from like a visual perspective externally, I feel like I still kind of look very similar. But when I did have that big initial jump and my belly got like markedly bigger, I felt just so big, and I felt like it was so hard to do things. And now it's almost like I've gotten used to like having this feature be an extra part of me, and sometimes I'll just go about my day and I'll be like, oh that's right, I'm pregnant, and honestly just forget about it, because it's just become just such a part of me and my daily routine. But it still does get in the way of things, and it still does make life like a little bit challenging at times. So getting out of bed is a mission, Actually, anything to do with bed is a mission. So getting into bed, rolling over during the night is like a almost 4-part process of like slowly rolling over. Sleep has been challenging. Not only do I find that I kind of get like a little bit of insomnia, like I'll wake up at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and I'll be so awake and just so wired. We've gone back to the first trimester needing to get up and go to the toilet once or twice type situation. For some reason in second trimester, that wasn't like a thing. I was able to have like a pretty consistent night's sleep and not need to get up and go, but no, we're back to that. In terms of other things that are difficult to do, like anything that needs to happen below the waist. So shaving is kind of hard, and I mean it's like summertime and my legs are exposed, so as much as I would like to just forego the whole hair removal type situation, I need to be somewhat up to date with it. Putting on underwear, pants, socks, shoes that involve tying, like shoelaces. Slip-ons for me have been like an absolute godsend. You don't need to bend over to put them on. They're just gonna, you know, just slip right in there, and they're comfortable too. But sometimes like I'm going for a more strenuous walk with the dog, and I do need to have some sort of lace-up shoes. So it takes me a good while to do that. I'm also finding weirdly that I'm just getting puffed. Not even like if I'm walking anywhere, I'll be getting puffed. Not even if I'm going for a walk. If I'm like just walking up the street or whatever, you know, I'm down doing my groceries, I'll be getting puffed all the time. Particularly if I'm kind of like sitting in, you know, a comfortable reclined position, or if I'm laying down, I'm finding definitely like during bedtime, sleep time, I get really puffed. I find it difficult to breathe sometimes, but even just regular activities, I'm just getting very puffed, very winded. And there's a lot of additional sound effects that come as a result of me getting puffed. I mean, it's kind of humorous just when you like look at me and I'm just struggling with my shoes and I'm out of breath. It's like I know a lot of people, and I've even got friends currently who are pregnant who are just like, yep, I'm big, I'm over it, I'm just ready for baby to come out. I'm just honestly loving it. I'm really enjoying this part of being pregnant. We went and had an ultrasound the other day, got to see baby in like a more fully formed position, and then she even showed us some 3D pictures, and it almost just like took my breath away in the most wonderful way this time. I was just so emotionally overwhelmed, and just seeing baby in there, and they were doing all these little cute sucking motions with their lips, and they, at least from like the ultrasound and the 3D pictures, they have gorgeous lips. Unlike me, like I've got very thin lips. They look like Dave. They've got Dave's like beautiful lips, and maybe even Dave's nose as well. I don't know, I need to go back and look at like baby photos of me and see like what my nose looked like, but they've got his nose as sort of more current type situation. So that was like breathtaking to be able to see them in there as like a, you know, relatively fully formed human at this stage. Like we don't have long until their arrival, but I'm just soaking in like every minute of it. I'm also just really enjoying, like at the moment I'm on maternity leave and I am home by myself. It was honestly the best decision. I was originally going to only take the last 5 weeks of term 4 off, and I was going to take that as either like sick leave or long service leave, like whatever I could get really. And then like some stuff went down last term. We don't need to get into like the negative side of things there, but things became really stressful and overwhelming for me at work, which they are on a pretty general basis anyway, but like it was at a heightened level. My hormones and emotions were also raging, so when you just add that to the mix, I decided for myself that it would be better to use up as much of my leave as I can. I mean, I've worked as a teacher for 10 years. I have like so much sick leave, long service leave, like different things that I'm entitled to. So I decided I was going to take my entitlements and I was going to take this whole term off. So that was 2 weeks of school holidays, 10 weeks of term, and then literally as soon as term ends, baby is due. And that has been the best decision for me. There have been moments where like I've been at home all day by myself and it's been a bit lonely. I mean, I could go out and go places. Like my parents don't live that far away. My sister lives down here as well. And I've got lots of other family. Like it's my own, if I'm lonely, it is my own fault, 100%, because there are plenty of people that I can visit. And I don't need to go places and do activities that cost money. Like I'm trying to be very financially conscious at the moment, as we're kind of moving into like a new situation where I'm not working full time. I am getting paid currently, and I will get paid maternity leave next year as well, but I'm not on the exact same salary because I'm doing some things at half pay, and then we'll go back to normal pay for a bit, and then we'll be on half pay. So like it's a whole situation. I'm gonna give you guys like a full financial video sort of more towards the end of this year, start of next year, in terms of like planning, budgeting, etc. So I'm trying to be mindful of like not going places and doing things that involve money. So I have been spending a fair few days at home by myself, and sometimes I do get bored. I am trying to keep myself busy, certainly, with making YouTube videos and doing my planners on Etsy. And I guess I feel like that is a point of difference between myself and maybe some other mothers that go on maternity leave. Like so many people, this is the catchphrase that I've been getting: just wait until, insert thing here. Oh, your house is so nice and clean, just wait until you have kids, it'll never look this good. Just wait until you have baby, you won't be able to wait to go back to work. People kind of projecting their own stories and narratives onto me, and maybe some of those things are true. Maybe I will never get a good night's sleep again. Who knows? Maybe I will, I don't know, be frustrated at, you know, being a stay-at-home mum and spending hours looking after my child and my house. I don't know, but I do know that it does feel frustrating when other people have had experiences, good or bad, and they try to project that onto me. And maybe you have been in a similar situation. It might not be a parenting situation, it might be a relationship situation, or in terms of moving or uni, or it can be anything. Like we all like to share our own stories, and particularly we like to share our horror stories. I don't know what the psychological purpose of that is. Sometimes I think that we just want people to have, like, if we've had a bad experience, we want other people to have a bad experience as well, so that we feel almost justified or vindicated in our own experience. And I have had people quite blatantly tell me that they hope that my birthing experience is as terrible or traumatic as theirs was. And these are not people on the internet. These are people in real life. All of these scenarios are people in real life where people have told me the, you know, the horror stories and like wishing bad things upon me and just wait until, have all been real life people I either work with or I'm friends with or are family members. It's kind of hectic. So when I think about, like, I've had a beautiful experience in this third trimester, but when I think about the negative things of the third trimester, people like putting their own narratives onto me and like kind of bad juju onto me has been one of them. And also people commenting on my body. And this, once again, is not an online thing. It is a people that I know in real life have been making commentary on my body, whether it's you're ginormous, or are you having twins, or when are you due, you look like you're about to pop, or like just anything, like you're sitting high, you're sitting low, it's a boy because of this, it's a girl because of this, you're all baby. Like, even if people think that it is a compliment, having so many people weigh in on how I look has been really weird for a start. I mean, I'm fine with it. Like, I don't take much stock in it. I'm not gonna like get offended. I'll just be like, whatever, and just let it roll off my back. If it is something actually offensive, I won't really care. Actually, I have had some offensive things said to me by family even. And one of them, actually, it's happened twice from the same person about my bum, commenting that my bum has increased significantly in size. I look at my bum right now and I think it looks pretty good. But I just had to say to that person, well, I'm big all over. I am pregnant. But it's just, it is really amazing when you think about like how people have like, feel like they have a right to comment. And it's made me reflect on like whether I have done that in the past. I know in myself that I've never said anything offensive in terms of like how a pregnant person looks, but I'm sure that at some point in time I have been that person and I've said, oh my gosh, you're so big, or like you're all baby, or like you from the back you barely look like you're pregnant. Like, I'm sure I've said something to someone, or maybe even multiple people along those lines at some point in time, and it has just made me like, being in the position of having those things said to me, it's made me super mindful, and I definitely won't be making any commentary on pregnant people's bodies from here on out, I can tell you that. Some things that I have had said to me that I think are appropriate and like I would love having said to me, you look so good, you're glowing, you're radiant. Like, people have said that to me, which is nice, and they're the kind of things that like you want to hear. It just makes you feel good. And like, particularly since like when you are pregnant, you can feel like really frumpy and really tired and like just a zombie because you're not having a great night's sleep. Well, and then you go to having babies and all of those things probably continue. But yeah, having like really uplifting sort of positive things that are not like super body centric even, I think that's nice. And those times where I've had that sort of stuff said to me, I've really appreciated, because in those moments I haven't necessarily felt that way. So it's kind of just been like a nice little confidence boost, I guess, and be like, oh yeah, like something beautiful is happening here. I need to like take a moment and just appreciate that I am creating life, and like the amount of physical and mental energy that goes into that. yeah, it's okay to have baby brain. My brain space and capacity is not being used for thinking at the moment. It is being used for like self-preservation and like creating organs. Who can really say, yeah, I made some lungs today, or yeah, I've just been working on a bit of bone marrow, you know? Like, that's really cool to be able to say that sort of stuff, and I'm sure it takes a lot of energy and capacity. So I certainly need to be more gentle on myself and more forgiving of, you know, if I don't have as much energy or as much like mental capacity at this point, I need to be more forgiving of that. I need to be more forgiving towards my body. And I think like originally when I started seeing like some physical changes happening, I was like a bit apprehensive of, oh, like, what is this going to mean for me postpartum, whatever. And now I'm just like, I don't care. I'm just, I actually kind of feel beautiful. I don't mean to say that in like a conceited type way, but just in a true appreciation of what is transpiring here. And Dave has done wonders to help me feel that way. Like every time he sees my belly, he's like, that's a beautiful belly. And I don't have any stretch marks at the moment, knock on wood, on my belly, but I do have them on my butt cheeks, particularly on like one butt cheek. They're not like super aggressive, they're just little ones, little sort of purpley type ones. And since I've been more consistent with using my tummy body butter all over, not just on my tummy, I have noticed that they've started to fade. But I'll point them out to him and make mention of my stretch marks, and he's like, beautiful stretch marks, they're a gift from baby. And like that just truly melts my heart. And yeah, it's true, they are a gift from baby, and they are, and will, if they stick around after birth, they will forever be, oh my gosh, I'm gonna cry. See, like this is the emotions of it all. They'll forever be a reminder of like this time that we had together, and yeah, this period of growth, which is very special for me. So yeah, it's been nice to have him say so many uplifting things that have really transformed my perspective on my body. And the fact that he says like things about like how beautiful I am really have helped to make me feel that way. So yeah, something interesting that has come out of the pregnancy experience. People want to cast judgment and make commentary on everything, and I'm sure that when baby is born, everyone will like to put in their 2 cents on you know, feeding and changing and schedules and raising them and like everything else. And I feel like a good thing with Dave and I is like we are super on the same page in terms of our values and beliefs when it comes to parenting. Anyway, I've done a heap of chattering. I honestly feel like I've been here just like talking your head off. So I'm gonna wrap up the video. The next kind of like baby related content that you will see will be in terms of like labor, birth, bringing home baby. I don't know like what that's gonna look like how much of any of that I'm going to film. I will definitely be doing some sort of like sit down story time about my labor and birth experience. I've also had a few people ask me about how much of baby I'm going to show online. Like I don't know, to be honest. I feel super conflicted. On the one hand, I love making YouTube videos. I love going back and watching YouTube videos, particularly ones related to, like, if we do a family day trip, I'll sit down and watch that with my family, and we'll go back and rewatch and kind of reminisce on those good times. So having the memories and the whole experiences documented is certainly a positive of, you know, putting elements of baby online. There are also obviously negatives and things to look, things to be more mindful of, I guess. The first of those is the more I show, the more I'm opening myself up for criticism and opinions, and I don't really want to create a door where people feel like they have a right to comment on, aspects of my personal life. I also feel like you can't control who sees your content and what kind of intentions and perspective that they have. There are a lot of beautiful, genuine people online, and I've certainly experienced that in my community. Some repeat viewers who, I'll see their names in the comments and they're always kind and uplifting, and you can definitely tell they have good intentions. But then there are also like some creeps online as well, and people who take child-related content and use it for purposes that they were not intended for, and can distort just something super childlike and wholesome and lovely and just make it gross. And I definitely don't want my kid being exposed to that. I don't want them being exposed to like negativity. I also know that like I choose to put my life online. The baby will have like no knowledge or no say in that, so I don't know if that's a good thing, exposing them to something where they didn't consent to, essentially. Like I know Dave, he's a very private person and he is happy to be in the background of videos, but he doesn't want to be front and center in any of my videos, and that's his decision and that's his right. And as an adult, he has the awareness to make that intentional decision, whereas a baby doesn't. So I feel very conflicted. I see that there are positive things to putting elements of family online, and I also see that there are negatives, and I haven't made a hard and fast decision either way. I guess I'm kind of just gonna take it as it comes and we'll see what happens. I'm not going to intentionally put them in my videos, and I'm not going to like blur their face out or anything like that. Like my videos will just continue to be as they normally are, sort of lifestyle, so slow living, cleaning, homemaking, the usual type situation. Family vlogs, I can't imagine is going to be integrated into the situation, but I would really like some feedback moving into 2024. What content do you like? What would you like to see more of? What haven't I shown that you would find interesting to see from me? Let me know down in the comments below, because it's all very helpful. And with that being said, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. I put out new videos every single week. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.